Hi, folks. This is Richard Ricky Garcia, and as part of our effort for the Skywriters Making a Difference campaign, I thought it'd be fun to reminisce, record, and share stories from our drum corps days. I'm joined by Martin Vanhinsbergh, who marched soprano for the 1981 Skywriters. Martin and I are going to talk about something that is, I think, perhaps the most incredible thing about drum corps. It's the friends you make, and it's more about the shared experience because you don't even have to have known that person really well. Here's a good example. I had one interaction with Martin when I was 1981, and it's classic. He was sitting he was sitting next to me, and he asked me, "Hey, mate, would you like your biscuit?" And I looked down at my plate looking for a southern biscuit, like biscuits and gravy. And I'm like, I have no biscuits on my plate. He goes, "Yeah, you do. That biscuit right there." And what I had was a chocolate chip Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie. That's what I had. And he was
A
referring to
biscuit.
right. He called that a biscuit. And I'm like, "You mean my cookie?" I said, "Yeah, your biscuit, my cookie, your biscuit."
Yeah.
And and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to eat my cookie." He said, "Okay." That was the only conversation I had with him in 1981. So fast forward 40 years. I have taken my family to visit Martin in the Brighton area of the UK. It was stunningly beautiful. I got to meet his children. I got to meet his beautiful, gorgeous grandchildren. I had adventures with Martin uh, at just walking around the Emirates Stadium where his favorite club Arsenal plays. He took me around the hallowed grounds of Highbury, the old hallowed grounds of Arsenal. Adventures in English pubs in London. Um, it was just incredible, and it wouldn't make sense with anybody else because they didn't have that shared experience. Yet when you have that drum corps experience, it makes total sense. I, I felt like I always knew you, despite only having one conversation. What made it so comfortable for you?
Yeah, I mean it's as I said, it's lifelong friendships. You're hooking up with 128 at that time Americans and one English guy, and I was just in awe of everybody anyway. I mean, as you say, I'm quite humbled when people say to me, you were much better than you think you were.
You were.
Um, I looked up to everybody in the Skyriders. I thought I was the lowest of low. But I did my bit. I marched my part, and I'm forever proud of being on that field and being one of the brothers in arms, sisters in arms, of being a member of those Skyriders. And you get an attachment that never goes away. It's like a pain in your heart that you can't change. And when you said you were going to do your bike ride across Europe, and you were going to Paris, and you were heading to Brighton, and there was me living 20 minutes along the coast. It was, what are you talking about, mate, geezer? You got to come and spend some time with me and the family. You've got to come to our place. You've got to come and have fish and chips and Sunday roast dinner and some Yorkshire pudding and have a pint in the pub. You've got to do those things because you're one of my brothers, and it's got to happen. And over the years, there's been a number of people that have come, and not just Skyriders, but Skyriders families.
Yeah.
I hooked up with Mark Ingle. He came over and did some work with the Corps after I'd marched in '81, and I think Mark got his first teaching job on the back of doing some work here in England, and he's now been a band director and has retired, and that's how long we're talking about. But it was about 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, his son came over and we had lunch, and we
Well,
talked about Sky Riders in London. We went on holiday to Chicago on my way to DCI one year, um, and I hooked up with Brent Bradley's daughter. Me and Heather had lunch with her. We talked about Sky Riders, talked about my time there and meeting her dad, and what an amazing friendship we got. And these are kids that didn't even march in the Sky Riders. These are, but their dads spoke to them about what the Sky Riders meant and what it was, and that's how important it is. And then, friendships will never ever go away. And I try to go to DCI every 2 years, and I have some incredible friends. Mark and Tim, and these guys march 5, 10, 15 years after me, but we sit after and we talk about the same things, and
Yeah,
we are unique and united. That it doesn't matter that we went on to do other things. We all shared the drum corps experience, and we all shared the Sky Rider experience.
absolutely.
Marching with that corps, its uniqueness, its fun, its style, which is so missed. And I am beyond myself with excitement about what's going on at the moment in bringing this corps back to the field. And I had a coffee with Craig, with Alison, and of course with Jay last year before last, when we were at drum corps, and Jay told me in secret what his plans were and gave me this lovely shirt that said, the return of Dorothy. And it was like, is that all a pipe dream? Is this all really going to happen? And here we are now. I am beyond excited, Rich, about what's going on. And you guys all, leading what is a unique thing called the Sky Riders. And that friendship is 100% at the centre of it all. And I'll be forever proud and grateful for being accepted and being part of that family, be it that I'm a European, I'm a London geezer. It's how it is. It's brilliant. I love it.
Well, you're one of our favorite geezers, so you should know that. But I'm here to tell you that you should be excited because it is going to happen. Uh, um, but to set expectations, I don't see a full core being fielded, within the next year. They're starting out slow, with a drum line first and then a color guard, which is the way it
Sure.
should be done. But it is happening, and I'm highly confident that the right people are in the right place to get this done as well. But yes, all those
Looking
people.
back, just being at DCI and seeing, a couple of shows over the years with Academy, and seeing our gravestone with the Sky
That's
Riders on,
right.
and
That's right.
seeing our flag and seeing our rainbow, and it's like people don't understand. If you're in the crowd and you've not been a Sky Rider, you don't know what those things mean.
Exactly.
And it's so heartwarming to even think that people remember us. I walked around DCI in a made up Illuminati shirt 4 years ago, and people are tapping me on the shoulder. First of all, they're surprised when I go, "Hello, can I help you?" And they think, "Yeah, well, you can't be a Sky Rider. You haven't got an American accent." And then when I tell them my story, they're just like, "Where did you get that shirt from? Do you know how much we miss the Sky Riders?"
Yeah.
So long may it continue. And I'm so, as I say, small
A,
seeds, but that oak tree growing.
a lot of people still remember us. One of the coolest things I like to tell people, I marched the '86 Blue Devils, and when I marched '86 Blue Devils, people ask me, have you marched anywhere else? I said, yeah, I marched the '81, '82 Sky Riders. It's like, whoa, you you guys were that's one hell of a horn line. That's you guys were they were in other corps like Dutch Boy at the time. A good buddy of mine was marched Dutch Boy in the early '80s, and he said, geez, we looked up to you guys. We looked up to the Sky Riders. Just the tone quality, the sound. So people knew about us. We made an impression. A lot of Blue Devils that I knew of, they that marched '82 Blue Devils, they said the only we clapped, we applauded only two corps that year, Vanguard and the Sky Riders. And so that says a lot. People still remember us. So it's definitely worth bringing back. And to have been a part of that legacy is amazing. And that's why you saw when you were at DCI finals, people saying, "Hey, were you with the Sky Riders?" Because people still remember. It still is. It's a prestigious.
And Rich, people remember the summer night in '81 in Whitewater when we made top 12.
Mhm.
I remember coming off that year, and I'm a television star. We're on the television.
Yeah,
This is a time where I would wait all day to ring my dad, and back in the UK, and it would cost the Judiths about $700 for me to make one call. But
yeah,
or I'd get a letter and I'd write to my dad, and he'd write back to me, and I'd get it 3 weeks later with old news. But we're on the television, the Sky Riders. We've got the whole show's live. And there we are in Whitewater on a summer. I am absolutely melted. And we're out there, and they did the death throw, and they landed every single rifle, and it was just an awesome experience.
it
And then
was.
lining up at the end there and making that, I guess a real move was like, we're we're doing well, and I can't tell you what that feeling's like. I can't. I just well, no, I can tell you what that feeling's like because you know exactly what it's like, and so does everybody else who's given every inch of what they've got. But that show, in all the shows, will always be in my memory of what John Caw's about. Really, really was.
And that shared experience makes it easy to have adventures with you decades later, even though I barely knew you.
I feel like I've known you all my life, Rich.
I, I mean, my some of my greatest adventures in Europe involve you.
Well, it's very lifelong. When you're coming back?
Oh, um, yeah, that's a longer story, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know me, I'm a Liverpool supporter, so I gotta go back soon.
Listen,
And
everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. You know, we
yeah,
are. I'm here. We're a pit stop. We're near London. We're always around. You know, it's.
I hope you don't get angry at me for saying this, but if you're a Skyrider alumnus and you happen to be going to the UK, you got to stop and have a pint with this
Look
man
me
right
up.
here.
I'll come and meet
You have
you.
to. You
Listen.
will not regret it. You just will not regret it. My wife my wife and daughter absolutely love you.
Oh man,
They had the greatest time when we were there.
listen,
And
listen,
again,
listen. This music is phenomenal. What she's doing out there.
oh yeah,
Hey
thank you.
guys, if you've not checked her out, check her out. And also, you know, your missus, as I call her, she's a Vanguard legend. There's no more to be said, you know, and you know how much I'm passionate about drum corps and Vanguard, and you know, my two inspirational corps were Santa Clara around 72 to 74 and the Muchachos. You
Uh-huh.
know, I had a tape recorder in my car and my mates would be playing Spandau Ballet or the Sex Pistols. I'd be playing the Muchachos, you know, and they go, "What is this?" You know, yeah, okay, we can do "God Save the
Okay.
Queen" and Anarchy in the UK, but you know what? Let's put a bit of the Muchachos on or Vanguard, you know.
Okay, that may be my one favorite line of all of these interviews that I've done. Instead of listening to Spandau Ballet and the Sex Pistols, I was listening to the 75 Muchachos. Oh my
But
God.
you know, Rich, it
That's
was a many years later having a steak and bake, you know, not a pint, a steak and bake in the middle of you know, Indianapolis, when I kind of found out the history of why they got disqualified. And you
yeah.
know, I've been burning to ask those questions for years. You know, I've got people like Tim Kivitz who knows he's like he's the stato of drum corps. What he doesn't know about the stats and what's happened, unbelievable. And I could sit with him and Craig and for hours after the show critiquing it and asking all those questions that were pent up for 35 years about, well, what happened this year? Who did that? Why did that happen? You know, that's it. That's the stories that you never run out of conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And you never run out of adventures. Okay.
No.
I have to tell this adventure that I had with you. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm in London. Martin takes me to this pub. I forgot the name of the pub. It was like Dalmatians or something like that. It was an Arsenal pub.
The
Um,
12 pins.
the 12
The
what?
12, the 12 pins.
The 12 pins, yes. So we get to the entrance of this pub and he says, "Okay, wait here, Rich." And I'm like, "Why can't I go in?" He says, just wait here." So he goes inside, he disappears, and I kind of wait up there for about, a couple minutes, and he comes back. He's, "All right, the coast is clear. Let's go inside." And so we go and I sit down. I said, "What was that all about?" He says, "Well, I've been banned from this pub."
You're shaming me now.
And I had to make sure that the manager wasn't there.
That was for
Otherwise, he
two.
would have kicked us out. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was for having too many beers in a match against Tottenham that are down the
no,
road, and it's kind of, I guess it's a bit like
no. This is what you told me. What you told me was, you said, me and my buddy Steve Pike got in a little altercation with Everton Football Club supporters.
oh,
Okay, with Everton Football Club supporters, and they banned us for the club from the pub for life.
yeah.
So that's why I had to make sure. That's why I had to make sure that the manager was here, or otherwise we couldn't drink in here.
But Rich, the funny point about that story was the guys that we had that altercation with in future seasons ended up being our friends, and me and Steve actually went to one of theirs wedding. There you go.
Wow.
But yeah, we were banned, and we had to. Yeah, you and I. It's been a long time, but I just wanted to check the landlord wasn't still there and wasn't going to throw us out. So
Oh,
didn't help with you, you know. So.
always an adventure with you. Always an adventure.
Well, didn't we? We had pie and mash, didn't we? You said to me, Martin, take me for something really English to eat, and we went down to Covent Garden, and then we went down to Carnaby Street, and we
Yeah,
found somewhere, and we just had some good old English tucker, didn't we? So
it was
that was fun as well,
fantastic.
you know. So,
Everything about it was fantastic, and
yeah.
again, just highlights. So again, if you're ever in England, in the UK, look Martin up,
Yep.
and again, understand where it comes from. It's about the shared experience, and you know, you probably don't even have to know Martin to have a great time with him, but all I had was this funny conversation with a punk rocker, the first punk rocker I had ever met, and you scared me because I'd never seen a punk rocker before, and it was just, you know, biscuit versus a cookie. I'm like, I there is no biscuit on my plate. Like, yeah, there is. It just from that, this incredible friendship that has allowed me to have so many adventures all over the world.
Yeah.
And I thank Drum Corps, I thank Sky Riders for just the incredible experience to have something like this. I highly encourage you to look Martin up. Martin, why do I
Please.
keep calling you Martha? My
Oh,
wife.
please
My-
do. Hey,
uh,
Rich, I wanted to say as well, you know, I get over to DCI every couple of years. And if any of you are there, then look me up. Let's do a beer. I'm always in there, try to get in with the Sky Riders reunion picture. You know, I've met so many friends in the last, you know, 5 or 6 times of going. I mean, I'm even sitting next to guys that marched in Madison and Blue Devils, and, you know, we're just sharing that Sky Rider experience. But if I'm ever there at DCI, please come and look me
Absolutely.
up, because I just love to share experiences with you guys.
As always, Martin, thank you very much. And
Thanks.
always a
Thanks.
pleasure. Thanks.
And hey, listen, best of luck with everything, and thank you for all your hard work and what you're doing with this program. Jay, Craig, Mary Beth, all of you, you are legends, and I wish you all the very best of success with this. And I'm 100% behind you. Take care.
Excellent.
God bless you all.
Thanks a lot, Martin.